Prosperity and abundance to everyone tuning in. So, I wanted to address this topic that was requested by one of my subscribers. And the topic was what happens when the new supply knows about you. So, typically, in a lot of these situations, the new supply does know that the narcissist either recently discarded or is triangulating them with another person. So, when this is the case, if the new supply is also aiding the narcissist in stalking you, harming you, smearing your name, bullying you, harassing you, or any of those things, we all know that what you put in, you will get out. We know that what you reap, you ultimately will always sow. So, if this is the case, the new supply will always end up getting that same energy back. Like, it's almost spot on in the cases that I've heard of, or the different people that have shared their stories, where the new supply ends up going through almost the exact same thing but worse. And that's not to wish bad on anybody or applaud their downfall, but it's a learning lesson, a teachable moment for the new supply in their own path and their own awakening, to know that you should never participate in any type of evil acts towards another person, especially when you don't know that person, and especially when it's not your battle to fight, you know? So, a lot of times the new supply is aware of the other person, or they're actively being triangulated with them. And so it becomes a competition, because people have to remember this is why narcissists do what they do. When they create that competition between you and that other person, or you and those other people, or you and whatever it is, then there's a fight for their love, their attention, to prove worthiness. And that's what they want to happen in the midst of all of the turmoil that they're causing, because they feel insecure, they don't feel adequate enough, and they need to continue to stir the pot in situations and cause drama just to get a thrill, just so that they can experience some type of feeling that is fulfilling to them. And a lot of times, the feelings that are fulfilling to them are either sexual, or they're extremely low vibrational in terms of uh, anger, jealousy, all of those envious feelings, things of that nature. So, when the new supply knows about you, and again, I'm not here to rejoice in anybody's downfall. I don't think that is what we should do, but it is important that we all learn to walk in integrity and to not participate in the abuse of another person, most especially when you are not familiar with that person, or you don't know the circumstance in full. So the new supply always reaps what they sow, even if it takes time. Like, if I could tell some of the stories, and I'll try to briefly tell this story, where there was a woman, and she's one of those friends who will sleep with your husband, will sleep with your man to get money, for status, for a feel, just because she's obsessed with you, whatever the case may be. And she carries this demeanor with her all the time. And so, all of us who are her friends or family members, like, it's a very off-putting thing about her, though we loved her and we wanted to just understand that she was a young woman growing. It was a very off putting thing. So I literally witnessed this young woman, when she finally did, actually, she was really interested in this guy. And she was so in lust, because they think they're in love, but they're really not. She was talking about wanting to have a baby by him, and she was doing all this special stuff for him. She planned this really, nice event for him, went all out for him. And one of his other women ended up beating her up. and brought friends to jump her at the event that she planned for this guy. Like, I literally witnessed that happen. She ended up in that time period losing um a lot. She lost a lot. Like, she was displaced from her home. I remember both of her phones that she had, like, they ended up breaking. And her roommate actually, and this is a whole, so it was multiple women involved with this guy that she really was falling for. But her roommate ended up, running off with the guy and ending up in a relationship with him and doing all the things that she wanted to do with him. So that's just one of the stories. Like, I know of like narcissists. It's funny because only the narcissistic women stories are coming to my head, but um, I know of women who went off and got married, knowing that another woman was already married to that man, and she was she participated in bullying the other woman and taking him away. And years later, like, they had problems throughout the marriage where he was beating on her. He touched her daughter, but she didn't want to believe that. And he ends up cheating on her. When he cheated on her and she found messages in his phone, she wanted to off herself. So, and that's just to say a few of those different things. But what we reap, we also. So if a new supply comes into the picture, they're bullying you, they're harassing you, they're smearing your name with a narcissist. People always say, oh, the narcissist is going on with their life. Listen, the narc has been going on with their life, turmoil after turmoil, all their life. They put on a mask, they fake the funk, they keep it moving. But that does not mean they are not reaping what they sow. That does not mean that. And ultimately, the fulfillment that other people can experience, which is very important. We live in a narcissistic world and society right now where people are so caught up in the facade, but behind that, that peace, that love, the serenity that is truly valuable to be able to enjoy anything you have, they don't have that. So when it comes to the new supply, participating in the abuse, they will reap what they have sown. They will. They will. And don't sit around and watch it. Don't sit around and wait for it. Let it be what it is. You go off, you do what you need to do for yourself, you heal, you become better, and you learn so you can protect yourself against these type of people, because they're multiplying very fast in society today.